Welcome to Story Spin. Today's video is going to be covering the best of the week of Am I the A-hole? First up, cut your hair for dinner? Absolutely not. Let's spin it. Am I the a-hole for refusing to cut my hair for my boyfriend's mom's birthday dinner? So I'm a 23-year-old female and I've been dating this guy, a 25-year-old male, for about a year now. Let's call him Jake. Jake's family is, well, let's just say they still think it's 1954 and everyone's supposed to dress like they're going to meet the Queen every Sunday. Anyway, Jake's mom is turning 60 and his family planned this big fancy dinner at one of those places where the menu doesn't have prices and the portions look like decoration. Cool, I can play along. But a week before the dinner, Jake casually says his mom asked if I could do something more elegant with my hair for the dinner. Maybe like, get a trim or put it up or something less wild. I was like, what? First of all, I have curly hair, like actual curls, not the kind you get from a curling iron. I love my hair. It's big, it's dramatic, it's me. I haven't cut it in over a year because I'm growing it out, and it's finally hitting that glorious lion mane stage. I asked what exactly she said, and Jake said his mom thinks I'm beautiful. She just thinks I'd look more put together with a sleeker style. Like, more presentable. Y'all, presentable? For who? The Queen? The soup that costs $50? I told him nicely, look, I'll dress up. I'll wear the heels that make me walk like a baby deer on ice. I'll even avoid cussing for one night. But I'm not cutting my hair because his mom thinks I'm too fluffy. Jake got quiet and then said I was making a big deal out of nothing. And why can't I just compromise to make a good impression? Viewers were unanimous. No one owes a haircut just to impress someone's mom. Boundaries won, and so did she. Now let's head to the office where one man thought yelling would earn him respect. It didn't. Am I the a-hole? I was yelled at today by a male coworker and clapped back. Still unsure if I did the right thing. I'm part of a team of 6 developers, and I'm the only woman on the team. We have several teams overall, and I get along well with everyone. I'm usually thought of as nice to everyone, joking around, easygoing. I've even had coworkers tell me they enjoy working with me. Today I got into an altercation with one of the male developers. He's stubborn and is known for having outbursts at people, especially when we don't do things exactly how he wants them done. He struggles with nuance and gets mad if you solve something in a way that doesn't please him. He's been at the company for over 10 years. I've been here for 1. And despite that, I've never been micromanaged more than I have by him, and he's not even my manager or boss. The altercation went like this. I was handed a document that described how certain software components in our codebase are intended to work. Some of the descriptions were newly revised, so I needed to rewrite code to match. But the descriptions were unclear, so I decided to email the engineer who wrote the document. He knows the system design inside and out. We'll call him M. As I was typing up the email, this coworker exploded, yelling at me that he knew the answers and that I should stop bothering M. That word, bothering, really stuck with me. I was writing a 2-sentence email and he acted like I was spamming M with 100 messages. I turned to him and said, I'm sorry, are you my boss or something? I'm emailing him because he wrote the document and I want his explanation. He fired back, telling me I was rude. So I said, yeah? Then go cry about it. The whole room went quiet. Usually, no one stands up to this guy. He throws angry tantrums and nobody says a word. This was the first time I stood up for myself. Did I do something wrong here? Is this kind of outburst normal in the workplace? I'm second-guessing myself. But honestly, I feel like he's the unreasonable one. The comments seemed to agree that OP was not the a-hole and that the coworker was being unreasonable. Now at home, the drama hits different, especially when you lock a door and your own husband treats it like betrayal. Let's see who's crossing the line. Am I the a-hole for locking the bedroom door when my husband works? I work first shift, and my husband works second shift. Because of that, I often spend nights alone. He usually gets home around 2 a.m. I lock the bedroom door when I'm home and he's at work. I started doing it because I would hear noises and not know what they were. and I got tired of constantly getting up to check. Most of the time, it's just the cats or an appliance. But locking the door gives me peace of mind. If I hear something, I know it's nothing serious. And if it is something serious, at least there's a barrier between me and it. When I go to sleep, I unlock the door so he can get in when he gets home. Last night, he came home hours early. He got cut from work because it was slow. I didn't hear him come in through the front door because the TV and air conditioner were on. If I had heard him, I would have gone out to say hi and unlocked the door as I did. But I didn't hear him, so I didn't know. He tried to get in and found the door locked. It took me a few seconds to pause the TV, move the cat off of me, and get up to unlock it. He immediately started questioning me, asking why the door was locked and what I was hiding. I told him I wasn't hiding anything. I just lock it when I'm alone and he's at work, just in case. He didn't believe me. He thinks I was hiding something because the door was locked and I didn't open it fast enough. So, am I the a-hole for locking the bedroom door while my husband works? Okay, that was tense, but now we're switching from marriage to friendship. What happens when someone throws a party and literally locks you out? Passive aggression hits a new low. Am I the a-hole for leaving my friend's birthday party after she didn't let me in her house? I'm a 23-year-old female, and I was invited to my friend Sasha's birthday party. She's also 23. The plan was to start at her house to pre-game, then head to the bars. The party was set for Friday at 8:30 p.m. I had work that day from 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., but I really wanted to go. So I rushed home, ate dinner, got ready, and drove over. We had been texting all day about the plans. She seemed excited for me to come and hang out with her and her friends. I know her friends, but we're not super close. I got to her house at exactly 8:30. I hung up the phone with my boyfriend and texted her to let her know I was there. She replied, "Okay." So I walked up and knocked on the door. I could hear music and people talking inside, so I knew they were home, but no one answered. I noticed she had a Ring camera, so I waved in front of it, knowing it would notify her phone. Still, nothing. I knocked louder and texted her again to say I was at the door, but got no reply and still no one let me in. I knocked even louder and started calling out, "Hey Sasha, I'm here." I finally heard footsteps coming to the front door, but instead of opening it, I heard the deadbolt lock click. As in, they locked me out even more. At this point, I walked away from the door and called my boyfriend. I told him my feelings were hurt and that I just wanted to go home. He convinced me to try again. Maybe it was just a miscommunication. So I texted her again and said, "Okay, I'm out front." She replied right away, "Okay, sounds good." So I knocked again, still no answer. Then I heard the music turn down and Sasha's voice say, "Guys, I think she's here." So I knocked as loud as I could and said, "Yes, I'm here, it's me." I heard footsteps again. And once again, the deadbolt clicked. The door stayed locked. The footsteps walked away. I had now been standing there, knocking, for over 12 minutes. I was upset, angry. So I left. I texted her, "I've been knocking for over 10 minutes and no one let me in, so I'm going home." She immediately called me, but I didn't answer. I didn't want to say something in the heat of the moment that I'd regret. She texted me saying she looked through the peephole and didn't see me. But that just doesn't make sense. She has a Ring camera. There's no way she didn't know I was there. I told her my feelings were hurt and that I felt completely unwelcome. She hasn't replied. So, am I the a-hole for leaving? What could possibly be the reason behind this? That party exit earned full, not the a-hole approval. Who stays after being shut out? Speaking of exits, here's a story where someone lets her boyfriend dump her for completely the wrong reason. Am I the a-hole for letting my ex-boyfriend dump me when he thought I had massive debt? I've been keeping an Excel workbook for years to organize my personal finances. Every month it shows the total expenses, total paid, and total remaining. It's not just helpful for budgeting, it's also cured a lot of the financial anxiety I used to have. I used to get panic attacks thinking I'd forget to pay something important, but Excel changed that. Every month, I put about half my income into savings, into things like an IRA, HSA, vacation fund, quarterly taxes, and an emergency fund. The only debt I have is about $500 left from a surprise $1,500 vet bill and my car loan, which is $200 a month and will be paid off next year. I could pay them both off now, but having a 3 to 5 month cushion makes me feel safer. I also give myself a weekly allowance of $150 to spend however I want. Dates, movies, nights out, whatever. After about 6 months of dating, my ex and I had started to get a little more serious. We had talked about the future and agreed that if we ever moved in together, we'd keep finances separate, but split shared expenses 50-50. It would have saved us both a lot of money. Well, he used my laptop one day, where I keep the Excel spreadsheet minimized. He accidentally opened it, and that's where the trouble started. I put everything on my credit card: rent, groceries, utilities, gas, even my quarterly taxes. I'm chasing miles so I can travel. Last year, I was able to take a friend to France using rewards points and covered both our flights and half the Airbnb. After I pay my bills, I pay the full credit card balance a few days later, once it settles. In my spreadsheet, I also list the credit card payment amount as a reminder to pay it. That way I never miss it. But when he looked at the spreadsheet, he saw the totals and assumed that number was my monthly credit card payment, which made it look like I had insane levels of debt. He also saw line items like Macy's, VS Secret, and Best Buy, and assumed I had maxed out retail cards. In reality, those balances were zero. I just leave them there to remind me of due dates if I ever use the cards for discounts. Apparently, he stewed over what he saw for a few days. Then he sat me down, said he couldn't stay with someone who was financially irresponsible, and gave me an ultimatum. Either call every credit card company right then to cancel all my cards and shred them in front of him, or he'd break up with me. He wouldn't let me explain. I tried to tell him I had savings, that my actual debt was under $4,000. But he didn't believe me. He called me a liar and said he couldn't trust me. And then he dumped me. I was heartbroken. I cried with my friends, some of whom I've helped build their own spreadsheets and pay down debt. Somehow word got back to him about the truth. And now he's mad. At me. Mad that I let him break up with me. Turns out, even though he makes more money than I do, I'm actually much better off financially, and he's upset that he missed out on someone stable. Especially since I had told him I was planning to buy us both tickets to Italy for our 1-year anniversary. Now I'm left wondering, am I the a-hole? Maybe I should have explained the spreadsheet more clearly or been more transparent about how I manage my money. But the moment I was confronted, I felt blindsided. My privacy had been violated, and the way he gave me an ultimatum without even listening felt like a total deal breaker. Some of my friends say I'm overreacting, that if his assumptions had been right, then his concerns were valid, and I'm passing up a nice guy over a misunderstanding. But honestly, I'm not sure I want to be with someone who talks to me that way. People were firmly on team good call, agreeing she bailed on that partner. Verdict, totally not the a-hole. If this was your kind of chaos, there's more where that came from. Subscribe, comment your favorite meltdown, and brace for tomorrow.